Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the swapper. Let's continue. So, a different personality took over the mind of the other character, so then it becomes even more questionable who they were talking to on the static, if very possibly they were just talking to themselves and there was nobody else on the radio, and this static is somehow convenient for the storyline. And they're forcing us to release the solar panels or they're going to crash the space station into the planet. Although I question, if you release the solar panels, wouldn't you then crash them into the planet anyways? And why are they forcing me to do it anyways instead of just doing it themselves? That's another good question. Meanwhile, the main progression of this game is to get more orbs and see more mysterious rock samples. The one called the swapper, it manipulates minds by some method that is not persuasion or argument. Is it a weapon? That is an interesting thought. Like, I'm not 100% sure that these rock mines aren't the minds of the crew and that the rocks are actually the crew. And they've just been somehow turned into Watchers rocks.
It's likely the Watchers aren't even aware they killed the crew, just as you're unaware when your immune system kills a virus. Once our fate was clear, Chalmers and I took steps to protect ourselves. No, the only way to survive is to land the station, to return them home.
So yeah, she seems to be intent on landing the station, and then that would make more sense. So I guess I just misunderstood her when she said to release the solar panels, or she would... I guess she wasn't saying or as much as she was saying, I'm going to land the station and the only safe way to do that is to release the solar panels. So yeah, this could be the crew turned into the Watchers, and the swapper device may actually be a weapon from some other species. It would be an interesting twist if there was a extra third party involved that sent out the diagrams of the swapper to these, I assume they're humans. Seems like you get a checkpoint every time you touch one of these lights. Okay. So, what's the trick here? You've got red light here, which probably is just a red herring. I can do this and this. Swap here. Jump over that. It's not what I meant to do. Can I not jump over this? There we go. Is there a platform here? Yes. Okay. So I guess what you would want to do. I don't know how you quite pull this off. Because we need an upside down one. Interesting how the jump works there. Okay, I think I've generally got this. You do this, and then you make an upside down one there. Okay. I can't swap based on this. So what I'm probably looking to do is this. So you walk a little bit backwards, so you're flipped. Then we'll just swap this way. Maybe there was some unnecessary actions there. And then you fall down here. And you do that. And it goes from 64 to 73. In a lot of ways, it feels like the game is kind of just given up on some ideas of individually like they've given up on the idea of getting individual orbs, which really, if you were going to speedrun a game like this, then it would make a lot of sense to get the bare minimum and then get to the later points where you're collecting 9 orbs each time. Let's see. Log 19 emergency evac number 3. In under 32 hours, more than 3/4 of us have succumbed. 124 crew members and less than 30 remain. So at least we're getting some numbers now as to how many people are supposed to be here. We hold up in this derelict module headed for the command. Once we've rested, people say it's the most protected part of the station, but then people are scared. They're saying that they can hear the watcher's thoughts. Then what do? Then when you do, you get sick. I'm trying not to listen to them, Sam Cooke. I feel like there was a pirate voyage, maybe not a pirate, but a on a ship on the ocean voyage with a character named Sam Cooke, who maybe something terrible happened to all of them. The name sounds familiar, certainly. It'd be funny if this is just a Voyage of the Damned story that's been put in space. Not sure what I can particularly pull off here. Best I can figure is you want to do something like that, and then let's see. There's a light projector here. So it does seem like in the right spot. This cube blocks the light there. And then I suspect there's a light projector here. Okay. So my guess is I'm supposed to block both light projectors. Although I question whether that really would block both light projections or not. Let's just see if we line things up this way. There's no way back down. I kind of think this is a delicate dance where we are going to turn around, grab this, do this, point all the way up, jump, swap, and do it. So we just had to get in that middle section.
It's not been easy working with that woman, you know. Everything is as simple as it looks with her. It's called the swapper device because it swaps souls about. A fairy tale if ever I heard one. What if there's no soul to swap.
It definitely feels like there is a more right brain, left brain split between this character. And arguably, there is probably a good argument that if you could separate the right brain and left brain of an average person, that they would not like each other per se that much or work that well together in direct communication. Bo Burnham, one of his better first comic specials, Inside, has a whole skit about that where the right brain and left brain are arguing with each other. Unfortunately, Bo Burnham's later specials just not as funny as I would have liked, and I guess that's just a matter of opinion, and maybe I'm not the biggest expert on comedy. Who is? I guess nobody is. It's a matter of taste. Who just fell down there? Did somebody just fall down? Well, I'm falling upward now. So, yeah, I think the other body fell upward and then got flung back downward. And so, yeah, the body just ragdolls all over the place. But yeah, she might very well have the sickness that they're talking about. Of course, it's also very possible that if you could separate the right brain and left brain of people, they might get along swimmingly. So this is another one of those situations where I am just not sure how many not really sure how many bodies I can make or need to make. See, if you do this, I think what you're going to run into as a problem, and this is just going to get annoying fast. Let's just reset. Is you need to probably be right side up with this character and this character. Probably just means you need to start with some upside down characters here, right on the edge, and as far as possible over here, and very possibly, yeah, I didn't do it well enough. I need to be right about to the point where I can walk and flip. So you do that there and there. So run. I don't think running works. Those close very fast. We need one more body. Okay. How can we do one more body? Let's just do what we did before. That one opens up 3. That one opened up 2. That one opened up 1. And that opens up 4. We could slow down time and try and run, but I don't think it's gonna work. We need this extra body. If you move to the left, the 2 on the right are going to get off their platform. If you move to the right, the 2 on the left will get off their platform. Like, really slow time down. And it doesn't work. Is there possibly a procedure here where if we had one here and we had one here, then I don't know what you could do to, because it definitely doesn't feel like this guy could fall down, go upside down, and then land on a platform, or jump and land on another platform. Are we possibly capable of getting past this without opening all the doors? I'd say probably not. If I put them, if I started like right on this edge and then did this and then did this, then walk over here and then did that and try to just get the smallest ledge here. It didn't quite line up, but let's assume that that had lined up. It's still the same number of bodies. So how do you solve this problem with one fewer body? Jumping won't do it. Jumping wouldn't help at all. Let's see what the numbers are. This one is 3. And this is 2. So if I could do this one and do this one, that's 1 and 4. But the second you get somebody to step off of 4 or 1, the door would slam on you. So at the very least you would need 1 and 2 done at the same time. Which maybe that is the solution here. Going through a lot of work here. Alright. Here. Walk backwards. And for the most part I'm gonna put that in line. Okay. Then that feels like you could do that. Possibly. And then do that. Possibly. So then we could lose the 2 on the right. And I mean, that guy's still safe. So now we lost our guy. And we walk backwards there. Okay. The sound effect potentially could get annoying. And they really don't give you a lot of space here, and maybe that's because this is at a 1080p resolution and this game really was only designed to be at a smaller resolution, which would have just made the pixels a little bit more easy to see. Right. So I think I need to be in here, and can I shoot the swapper through a wall? No. So you put it here, and then the question comes down to how do we get that number 4 in place? Doesn't seem like you do. You can't jump either. I now realize. Doesn't really matter where that is. Okay, that squashes that guy. On accident. It gets you so close, but just not close enough. I can make another character here. Oh, you're so close. But we would need to somehow get rid of this body, and it's, if you just had a gun, just something to kill a body or kill a clone, that would be it. But I basically cannot walk to the right. I can maybe walk to the left. You know what I probably needed to have done in that case is, let's just start over. See if we can figure out what we did wrong here. Put that far to the right as possible. Then walked back towards here. Put that there. Put that there. Now, what if I were to, say, push a character here? Right. Now, it would only be a matter of walking to the left or walking to the right. Probably walking to the left. So that blocks me in, which probably means I did need to walk to the left. Or walk to the right. Not sure which one fell first there. That is there. That's the number 2. So, could I get rid of that one in particular? Yes, I think I could. But if I did get rid of number 2, then that wouldn't really help too much. It's almost like I need this character, the one in the middle, to be very close to the other guy. Yeah. Let's see. That wasn't the character I was controlling. Maybe there's some hope here. I mean, I could get an extra body just by going there. Yes. And I can get an extra body going there. I can get somebody there. And do that. you really could be as far as this point, have that, then walk towards the wall, and then that would just crush you. So it doesn't really feel like that's a solution. Plus, by the time you hit that light, you are just flipped back down this way. 4 seems to be possibly the worst one you could make. Those back 2. Would be safe. The question here definitely just comes down to, how do I get something to move without killing myself? I guess here's a question. If we're here and I jump up like this, does that destroy that copy? Yes, it does. Okay. So we might be able to get a new extra body that way. I guess the question then becomes, what value is that? That's the number 1. So getting the number 1 to jump up blocks the first door. Oh man, this is... Do we even have anywhere else where we can go? Not really. I mean, I can go and unlock this and give up on this orb, yes, but eventually I'll just have to come back and get it. Some of these puzzles seem to have fairly high difficulty spikes in them. It might be something as simple as this, starting at the absolute upside down spot. I'm trying to conceptualize in my mind whether there's any value in jumping over these gravity sections. And there might be. Let's see. Stand next to this. This one doesn't really matter where it is. This one, I want just on the very edge. So then when I walk this way, nope, that was not correct. This one here needs to be as far as possible that way, and this one needs to be just on the edge. So then when I do this, I'm fairly safe. Okay. Then is this number 2 that we want? Yes. So that may not be far enough to the right. Yeah, it isn't. Okay, reset. Yeah, it seems like there's just incredibly tight requirements here. Okay. So you have this extra square. And time slowed down, walk backwards, and see what happens here. That didn't work perfectly, so I don't need to go full square, maybe just half a square, but then that would have that body stuck at that point, which now that you're at this point, what do you do? Because you don't really need that character so much. So we'll just pretend like there would have been a body here, then you could have walked more this way, and then hopefully the body would have been there, and then it would have just been a matter of swapping to this guy and producing, well, we couldn't produce another body there, but what we could do is we could run this way until we have a body. Which, yeah, this guy down here wouldn't have existed, so you would then have him pushing against this wall, but if we go too far to the right, then he would get smashed. See if we can really pull this off. Just incredibly tight requirements here. Honestly, I guess I don't even need him to land on the switch, come to think of it. We'll put this right there. And then, no, probably wouldn't even hurt just to preemptively do that. Okay, there we go. So, at this point, I guess if we jump, we'll get squashed, so we can't jump. We can't make any more bodies. If we pushed backwards, he'd get squashed. Like, we've got two bodies here, and that's great and all, but unless the strategy is to bring a body back, I don't think that's really going to help us. In fact, I don't know what any of this is going to do to help us, because we're getting a body past this wall, but we can't swap into the body, so we won't collect it anyways. Like, yeah, sure, you open up maybe that gateway. That maybe lets you move a little bit further. Am I perhaps supposed to use the time slow mechanic to do something like this? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna just have to assume that this can't be done. I think there might be a way to do this, certainly, but it does just kind of feel like this is yet another one of these puzzles that either has a concept I can't wrap my brain around, or is straight up undoable. Alright, well, let's then just teleport ourselves here. Wow, we're already at 43 minutes in this episode. That is ridiculous how much time I spent on that. And that is the danger, certainly, with puzzles in general, is that you are going to have these, like, longer puzzles. Sometimes they're difficulty spikes, sometimes they're just chronologically longer. Well, let's just detach the second one. You can look in the background, we're starting to see more of a blue planet instead of just a dark black planetoid. I guess that blue was actually the solar panel. And now that it's out of the way, we're back to seeing the dark planetoid. I guess technically, if you are looking directly or facing directly towards the sun as much as you can, the planet in silhouette would be, in contrast, very dark. But visually, that's not attractive. Take some liberties. It looks like we're going into an airlock, which is going to take us into this other section. It's weird how the room itself becomes this kind of blurry background to confuse the map, because the background on the map is not solid. Arguably it should just be solid. So if we go in here, we'll probably get several more puzzles that might push us past 93 anyways, and then it looks like there's not really a lot of room for anything more unless we land on the planet and there's a whole second chapter, and this game is incredibly longer than it seems. Would you in any way want to float off into space? let's just see what happens if we try. Let's see. My complaints in the past have been that it doesn't feel like there's a secondary gameplay mechanic in it, and I guess this would have been the secondary gameplay mechanic. And so, yeah, it looks like there's just a metal wall that makes a border here, as this is just the area, and it looks like there's an electrical tether line. And there's our hatch. So let's just investigate more. Then it's questionable though whether this is really part of the spaceship and our flashlight's not really doing much, or if this is just some asteroid that they attached to the spaceship. There's just nothing here. You would expect that there would be some kind of alien or something you would have to avoid, and that this would feel like an incredibly dangerous section of the game, and that's just not the case. And all you get is kind of some ambient background music and, for lack of a better term, Christmas lights. Yeah, comparing this to some of the sections in, I think, Dead Space 3 in particular, where you were outside of different spaceships and aliens would attack you outside of the ship, and you had like an oxygen meter. Even a little timer like that would probably do well. So yeah, I just kind of question whether this was a giant rock, and maybe this is where the head was. Why is the teleport interface all vibrating there? Seems like just everything you're saying is vibrating. Okay, we'll go to the left first. Is this possibly a case where you're vibrating because you're close to a strong head? Or are you vibrating because you're getting like a psychic signal? Now it feels a little awkward to get back to hearing noise. I still have yet to really figure out what the difference is between purple, red, and blue. Let's see. In red, you can make a clone, but you can't swap to it. Okay. In purple, you can make a clone, but you can't swap to it, so what's the difference? Purple can make a item in red. In blue, you can't make a clone, but you can swap in blue light. What does any of that have to do with anything, though? Because it's like only the light from the character you're controlling does anything. Okay, there's a button here and a button there. That was the part I was not saying. Okay. So with 5, let's see. This feels like this might be fairly easy. You just like slow down time while on the red. Do that. Okay. And then you swap to this guy, I guess. Slow down time and do that. We've got too many bodies around again. Man, it really does just feel like this game loves to throw this at you, where you can only have 4 bodies, and we've found a puzzle that seems close to impossible, if not completely impossible, with 4 bodies. Yes, we have a person in the blue spot that we really don't need, so it does kind of feel like this is... There's another body over there. That's probably part of the problem too. No reset light here. Right, so you have this body, and you have to get rid of this body somehow. Or you have to enter this room upside down and then immediately jump. Let's experiment with that thought. I just don't think you could immediately jump. So, and it seems like they've intentionally put that there so that you can't immediately jump. Okay. Doesn't seem like it wants me to be able to put one in the purple, which is, I guess, maybe what is the difference is in purples you can't place a character at all. That might make sense. Alright, well, then we'll do that. We'll do that. It's probably fine to do this and then just get turned around that way. Then I can make one here. And I have no more bodies at that point, though. So. And the light probably doesn't matter too much, though. So. If I could possibly merge and then recover a body, that would be fine. Possibly come over here and see if I could shoot. Yeah, barely made that. I don't think I needed to shoot back that direction, really. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think it's really that complicated. Let's put one on the edge there. Put one right there. Okay. Let's see. Not gonna hit the switch that way. I don't know if I really need anything more. It's like both of these characters may be unnecessary extras because I may simply just need to put one here. Walk this far, and now would be the point where you would need this switch. So if I could get one body on this switch exclusively. I don't know exactly how to do that. Seems like you would have to probably do this. Okay. But now we have no more bodies, which is a problem. We would have bodies if we could get rid of the one guy over there on the right. In any way, form, or fashion. But I don't see how we can get a whole bunch of bodies over here. Whatever that's worth. But once you're in that purple light, things are probably useless. I think you have to be standing at this spot Best case scenario. And then making the extra copy in that way. Put you there. Opening that. Put you there. Maybe falling down here and then shooting that. I mean, that really wouldn't do you any good. You have to do this. I guess you might be able to do something like right on the edge here. What? Why did that guy flip up like that? That's weird. Oh, I guess it was upside down. Just, yeah. All of those people together. If I could possibly hit them somehow. But they would only get further and further apart the more I went in that direction. If you could get rid of this purple light and hit that light, then there might be something to that. Well, we've been going an hour and I think I'm gonna just have to give up. I've done that multiple times in this game so far. And it doesn't feel good by any means, yes. Let's ask a question here. Could I possibly jump and hit that? Yes. Would that help me in any way? Maybe. If you could get just far enough around. Yeah. If we did that and then I made a clone over here. Then I could potentially jump upside down. Let's see. As I'm falling, I just jump over here and try and do that. You kind of need it to be at this orientation though, because you gotta collect the orb and that wouldn't work. Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, it definitely seems to me like either there's a trick here I'm not getting once again, and it may just be the same trick over and over again, but I missed something clearly if they were supposed to be teaching me that trick. And yeah, we've got all this. This is a weird room to end on. I don't even want to end in this room for all the weird vibrations in this room. So let's just end in this room. Yeah, it seems like we're just kind of doing the exact same thing over and over again as far as these puzzles that I can't solve, in that it is the same gimmick over and over again. I cannot figure out how, with the limits of having 4 swappers, I would be able to solve the puzzles. And honestly, it may just not matter. Instead of making progress, the game is just wearing down my interest to the point where I really wouldn't care. We're at 82 orbs now. We get 2 more packs of 9 and we'd be at 93. We might as well just play the story and see what the credits are, and then see if the game lets us go back and get the last couple of them. If the game doesn't let us go back and get the last couple of orbs, at that point, if I'm even still motivated to get them, then oh well, who cares? Like, this game hasn't done enough to really push me towards that. It also doesn't seem like there are really that many achievements in this game, so outside of getting this message from Home 3, I haven't seen a single achievement unlock, which maybe indicates that the game is a lot longer, which would just be more of a reason to rush towards the end. Although I kind of question it. I had suspected that this square or this square would have actually been on the planet, and it would be fairly weird now for as long as this game has been, since the puzzles have gotten fairly long and overly complicated. Like, I'd be surprised if there was a secondary planet level with a whole nother map. When we first looked at the map, it didn't feel that big, but the amount of time we're now spending in each of these puzzle rooms has gotten very long. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.